So how long have you been suffering with trichotillomania? Years? How many years? Now, we could be talking about you or a loved one, I know that, but you know how it is, right? The longer you've suffered with this, and the more time that passes, and the more things you've tried without success to overcome this challenge, you start to get jaded. You start to think that nothing's going to work no matter what you try. And that's when a lot of people just give up. They start to think, I'm just going to have to learn to live with this. And it's at times like that, for example, a person may simply out of desperation decide to do something radical, like shave their head. And you know what? They're going to be proud of it. They're going to wear it as a badge of honor. They're going to insist that this doesn't define me. Hair pulling's not going to define me. But I promise you, in this person's heart of hearts, that's not at all what's going on. Deep inside, the truth is, they're hurting. They're feeling defeated. They're feeling powerless. After all, why else would a person make the extreme decision to shave their head? Do you think they're doing that out of choice? Of course not. People resort to doing this kind of thing for one reason. They do it out of desperation. And not because they want to, but instead because they've decided they have to. Like this is the only possible way they can think of to take control of their pulling, by literally removing their ability to pull. But you see, the truth is, that's this person's problem taking control of them, not them taking control of their problem. There's a huge difference. That's not a person who's genuinely in control. That's a person who's being controlled by something else. Now, do you know anyone who's reached this point? Maybe they haven't shaven their head yet, but still they've gotten to the point where they've just given up. They don't even try anymore. How do you help a person like this? How do you get through to them, to inspire them to never give up, to keep trying new things until they find something that works for them as an individual? As we get ready to head into this brand new year, this brand new decade, there couldn't be a better time to talk about fresh starts. So let's do that. Stay tuned. So how do you help a person who's pretty much given up on even the possibility of a solution for hair pulling? The person who's tried everything, nothing else has worked, and now you can just see it in their demeanor, in their body language. They're not at all the same person they used to be. Well, one of the things you have to be able to do in order to answer that question is to understand the psychology of a person who's given up. What are they doing? What are they thinking? What are they saying to themselves? What are they deciding that because they're doing all that creates the behavioral result called giving up? Well, it's pretty obvious. Some of the things they're probably saying to themselves is something like, I'll never find a solution for this. Or there's nothing out there for me. Or there is no real solution for this. Or worse, they may personalize it and decide the problem is that there's something defective about them personally. Like I'm just the worst case ever. Or no one's going to be able to help me. Now, what makes people decide something like this? What's that process like? Well, they take all of their past experiences, in this case, for example, their lack of success in the past, and there may be many of those, and then they create a vast generalization about what all that means. They decide that all these failures in the past must mean they'll be similarly unsuccessful in the future, no matter what they try. But is this necessarily true? Of course not. You know it and I know it. How do we know it? We know it because something inside of us knows that the past does not necessarily equal the future. Now, we may have no conscious idea of this, but I'll bet if it was virtually any other context besides hair pulling, and you ask the same person, this person has pretty much given up on what's possible for them on the hair pulling front. If you ask this person about pretty much anything else, if you were to suggest to them that just because things hadn't worked out the way they wanted in the past, that there was still the possibility that something else could work for them in the future, they'd probably generally agree with you, wouldn't you say? So that's how you need to get to this. You need to help this person see that there are all kinds of other contexts in life where they actually have found success even after repeated failures. And you might even need to remind this person what specifically some of those experiences were. And if you can come up with enough of those, that may just be enough for them to now draw a much more empowering generalization from what you've just reminded them, which is, look, if I could eventually find a way to make some of these other things work, maybe there's a possibility that there's something better waiting for me on the hair pulling front as well. Remember, our decisions are all based on our beliefs. Our beliefs are almost always the result of generalizations we've created totally unconsciously as a result of earlier experiences. But again, these beliefs may not necessarily be true. So this is why once this person has been able to see that, yeah, there have been times when things eventually worked out, even after repeated challenges along the way, that's when you ask them to try in this new belief called the past does not equal the future. And you don't try to talk them into believing that right away, but you could start, that is to say, you could get them to at least try on the new belief by asking them, what do you suppose would happen if somehow, some way you were to believe that the past does not equal the future? That just because you tried all these other things in the past that haven't worked, that doesn't have to mean it can't work for you tomorrow. And you let them tell you what would or could be different. In a way, that's giving them an experience of what it would be like to have that belief instead. And if it feels that much better to them, they're that much more likely to consciously decide to adopt that mindset instead. Here at the Trichotillomania Relief Specialists, our record for a client that had been pulling her hair the longest before finally going to work with us was something like 57 years. Yeah, she was 62 years old when she finally found out about us, and she was 5 years old when she started. And here's a person who had all the reasons in the world to believe there was never going to be a solution for her. But she didn't give up. Now, of course, this woman had no way to know for sure what was going to happen when she started working with us. But importantly, she didn't let the fear of the unknown, the fear that this too may not work, stop her. She chose to go for it, probably because she had some belief like the past does not equal the future running in the background for her. And it's a good thing she did because, that's what enabled her to give herself the chance she needed to break free of her old patterns and thus to find the freedom she'd only dreamed of for all those years earlier. Remember, whatever you believe to be real and true in your world is usually going to show up that way for you. Time to do some thinking about what's been holding you back from pursuing additional avenues of treatment for that old, outdated hair pulling problem. Has it been your limiting beliefs about what's possible for you? Time to take a good look at that. And with the advent of a brand new year, even a brand new decade coming up in just days, no better time for that than now. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to be able to notify you when we have new content, more helpful videos coming your way. And you know what? Go ahead and hit that reply button below and leave us a comment. Talk to us. How did this video impact you? If you're watching this video at our Facebook community page, please leave a comment there. We'd love to meet and chat with you. In fact, if you have questions about trichotillomania or hair pulling in general, and you're just not quite sure where to go for answers, please visit our website's questions and answers page at trick-free.com/qa.html. We do actually look through all the questions that come into us very carefully, just like we do all the comments and questions that show up here at our YouTube channel, and we do our best to answer as many of those questions in these very videos as possible. Again, please do be sure to like and subscribe. We're here to entertain and inform, and most importantly, to empower you to begin taking control of your hair pulling in ways you probably never thought possible before. If you'd like to reach out to us directly to get some information about how we can help you or a loved one, we'd love to hear from you. Feel free to visit our website at www.trick-free.com or to call us at any time of day or night, toll-free 833-TRICH-FREE. Thanks again for watching. I'm Robert Mantell with the Trichotillomania Relief Specialists. Here's wishing you an amazing trick-free new year.